In the last video, we had a look at manually editing these background vocals, or I should say these lead vocal doubles or these lead vocal accents. And we did that by manually editing them against each other and then referencing them against the lead vocal and then making sure that that all worked together with the instrumentation and the mix of the music. So I've gone ahead, as I mentioned, and I've edited these tracks over here. So now they've been manually edited and I've got them sounding good against the lead vocal and the music. Now I've also gone ahead here and I've done some comping, some editing, and some pitch correction and consolidating on some other tracks over here. So as you can see here, I've worked on these tracks over here, and what I've done is comped, edited, and done some pitch correction. But while I was doing that, I was trying to determine the best approach to take for these lead vocals. So for instance, in this section over here, where we have these three lead vocals that play against each other, let's have a quick listen to that and see if we can identify the problem.
If the sun comes up or the rain pours down, I'm yours. If the sky...
So the timing is a little bit loose, but not just that, we've got some pitch problems. Now I could go ahead and I could select this event over here and this event over here, and we could melodyne these or auto-tune them or whatever we want. But I'm lazy, and I want to look to tools that can do that faster for me. Now, because these aren't going to be dead up front and center in my mix, I can get away with a little bit of trickery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Revoice Pro. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Revoice Pro, I've got a full series that I've done for Groove 3, and I'd recommend you check it out. And for anybody who's really serious about vocal production, I would definitely recommend at least demoing this out and seeing whether it's worth the cost to you. But in my mind, it's absolutely priceless. So what I want to do here is, because I've done all this work with comping, editing, and pitch correcting this lead vocal, I just want to take these two and I want to make them match in both timing and pitch to this. Now you may notice here from the name, we've got something here that says APT, and then this one says Vox Lead, and on this one we've got the same thing. That's because I've already gone ahead and I've done some work in Revoice Pro. So for instance, let's listen to this section, which is the original unedited performance with these vocal backgrounds or these vocal doubles. Let's listen to that. Let's listen to that in solo as well.
If the sun comes up or the rain...
Now let's listen to the exact same part, but with the ones that I've worked on in Revoice Pro.
If the sun comes up or the rain pours down...
Okay, pretty amazing. Now let's listen to these ones over here, but maybe we'll just listen from the back half because it's the same thing.
This ain't love, we're through.
Okay, so really tight timing and really tight pitch. Okay, so now because I've just gone ahead and I've basically flown in the chorus, we can take these two over here that I've already worked on, and we can replace these over here with these two. So let's go ahead and do that quickly. I'm going to go ahead and delete these, and I want to take these and I want to drag them into here. But before I do that, just want to bring your attention to something else here. If you look at my snap time base over here, you'll see that I have relative grid enabled. And what relative grid enabled means is that while I have my snapping on, take a look at the starting point of these. It's not on a bar 1. It's close, but it's not perfect. So if I was to just pull these over and snap it to a bar, then it wouldn't necessarily be right. It wouldn't work with this timing. So as long as I have my relative grid on and I have snapping enabled, now when I go ahead and I option drag these to make a copy, you can see that the start position is the same thing here, 0499. When the starting position of this is perfect on bar 1. So not a big deal, but just something that you need to be aware of when you're moving around things and you're copying and pasting different sections into another section. Okay, so let's take a look at how we can take these tracks over here. As you can see, I colored the ones that I wanted to work on in Revoice Pro. I colored them a different color, and I did that on purpose, so I had a visual indication. But before we do that, I just want to go ahead here and I want to remove any asterisks or underscores or any characters from these tracks over here because I know that these are done now. We'll go to this one over here and we'll do the same thing. Now, different DAWs work with Revoice Pro in a different way. So if you want to see how Revoice Pro works with your DAW, I'd recommend checking out my Groove 3 series because we cover the major ones in that series. But for now, like I keep mentioning, Studio One has an absolutely brilliant integration with Revoice Pro. It's incredibly simple. All we have to do is select an audio region, can go ahead and copy that, and then I can bring that into Revoice Pro, directly pasting it onto a track. So let's open up Revoice Pro here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this. Let's open up a new document. The very first thing that I want to do is I want to check my BPM, which is 140. Let's go back into Revoice Pro. I'm going to go to my settings over here. And it's important that we enter these settings before we start anything. And also I've chosen my DAW that I'm using so that Revoice Pro is talking behind the scenes to the DAW properly. Okay, now like I mentioned, we're going to go into Studio One here. I'm just going to take this track, we'll copy it, come into Revoice Pro, just going to click in an empty spot here on this track that I wanted in. We're going to paste. Not going to worry about the track names for now. We'll come back to that in a minute. Now I'm going to get the next section in, which should be my left vocal double. We'll click this here, and then we'll go into the next audio region, copy, back into Revoice Pro, and paste. Okay, so let's go full screen now with Revoice Pro. So now these are a representation of the 3 tracks directly from our timeline. Now the first thing I want to do is I want to make some adjustments to the track naming here. I'm going to call this dub left, because that's what it is. And I'm going to call this one dub right. Revoice Pro uses this terminology, guide, dub, and output. And that comes from post-production workflow. But the only thing you have to really take from this is we have a guide track, which is the track that we want to match to. The dubs are the tracks that we're going to be doing the work on. And the output, or the dub output, is going to be the fixed version of the track that we're working on. So what I'm going to do over here really quickly is I'm going to create 2 new tracks because I need to have some tracks to accommodate whatever Revoice Pro spits out. Okay, so we've got our 2 new tracks here, and I'm going to call these dub, fix left, and then the next one, I'm going to call it dub, fixed right. Because these names, when you're working in Studio One, these names will come back to the audio regions. And that's really helpful for us so that we know what's what. Okay, so this is a really easy process. Once you understand the basics and once you have some naming set up, essentially all we need to do is we need to tell Revoice Pro what we want to do with these tracks. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pan these out left and right respectively because I want to hear this in a stereo field. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to click this track, and we'll go ahead and click the B key, and I want to create a new process. I'm going to click APT. Let's just close this for now. We're going to do these one at a time. So the APT, the length of it's going to be the selected audio. We're going to go with this preset, which is a great starting point for now. Our guide is going to be our guide. Our dub is going to be dub left because we're working on this left track first, and our output is going to be dub fixed left. Now we're going to go ahead, click new process. Okay, I'm going to do the exact same thing right away, and I'm going to do it for the other track. So this time, we'll go ahead and we'll do the exact same thing again, but this time we're going to make a change. This is going to be dub right, and this output is going to be dub fix right. Won't worry about fix offset. We'll go ahead and click new process. Okay, so now we have our 2 processes created, and they've been created with a preset. So the first thing I want to do here is I'm going to solo out my guide track, and I'm going to solo out my dub left fix, or my dub fix left. Let's have a listen to see how that preset did. Once I've selected this, I can just open up the parameters for that APT over here. Let's go ahead and listen.
But this ain't love, this ain't love, just what broken hearts go through. This ain't love, this ain't love, just what broke.
Okay, let's go ahead and let's listen to the other one over here. And I can just click here, and I want to set my playback range according to the length of this. Let's have a listen to these together.
But this ain't love, this ain't love, just what broken hearts go through. This ain't love, this ain't love, just what broken.
Okay, so I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to click this little plus icon to just move us out of the way. And now we need to spot those events back into Studio One. Let's go ahead and take these 2. We're not going to need them anymore. I'm going to go ahead and delete them and open up Revoice Pro. And I'm just going to scroll over here just a little bit. Now, if I hold down Shift, Option, Alt on a PC and click, you'll see this wave icon. I let go and I can just drag this right in. I'm going to do it for this track as well. I can drag that right in there. Okay. Now we'll open up Studio One again. And all we have to do is we have to select these 2 events. And I'm just going to go ahead and click Move to Origin. And that will spot them in the exact right spot. So now we can listen to this in context to the whole track and see how it did. And I'll go ahead and play from here.
But this ain't love, this ain't love, just what broken hearts go through. This ain't love, this ain't love, just what broken.
So that's sounding great to me. Now, one other option that we also have in Revoice Pro is let's pretend for a second that we didn't have a double track of that for some reason. We forgot to record it. We only had a single track. Another thing that we can do in Revoice Pro is we can actually create an artificial double that sounds absolutely fantastic. So I'm just going to take these out of solo. We're going to add another track. Go ahead and add tracks. And I'm going to call this Vox Double. Go ahead and click OK. Now what I can do is I can just click the B key, and this time instead of APT, we're going to choose the doubler. And we'll go stereo, vocal, mild. And this is pretty simple. We have our guide, which is the main track that we want to use, and we have our output. And we'll call this Vox Double. We'll go ahead and click New Process. It's automatically created a stereo double for us. Let's go ahead and see how that sounds. Just solo these both out, come from the top.
But this ain't love, this ain't love, just what broken hearts go through.
Okay, I'm going to close this for a second. Let's open up those parameters because I want to show you something kind of cool. We have these different settings that we can adjust. So if we wanted to offset one more than the other, so it's a little wider, we can do that. So for instance, I'm looking at channel 1 right now. Here's my average delay. I can also look at channel 2, which would technically be my right. Let's go to channel 1 and let's move the average delay a little bit down. Channel 2, that's there. Maybe we can even bring this down a little bit more. So the idea here is that I want this to sound a little bit wider. So now I've just adjusted this. Let's go back and play from the top again.
But this ain't love, this ain't love.
It might be a little bit too much, so let's go ahead and bring this back up a bit. So maybe we'll go with -11, and on 2, we'll go with something like 16.4. Let's see how that sounds.
But this ain't love, this ain't love.
So I could sit here and I could tweak these until I'm happy with it. For now, let's just go back to our factory preset, and I'm going to just do stereo, vocal, mild. Because these are a really good starting point. The guys at Synchro Arts have done a good job with these presets.
But this ain't love, this ain't love, just what broken hearts go through.
So if you don't have a double, you didn't record one, you can easily make one. Then I could go ahead, I could drag that back into Studio One the exact same way. And in this particular case, I would just go ahead and I would make a new stereo track over here, come back into Revoice Pro, do the exact same thing, Shift-Alt-Option, drag this in, and now this is ready to go. And then I would just have to go here, Edit, move to Origin. And now we have a stereo double that was created from this mono audio clip. So in the next video, we're going to go a little bit further into Revoice Pro and get an introduction to vocal line as I start to work through these vocal stacks and time align them to the lead vocals.